Welcome to the Micheaux Mission, 2 Men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Vincent Williams, and I'm joined as always by my partner.
Hey, what's up? This is Len, aka the Bat Tribble.
And tonight on this stop, we're going back to the source. We are going to visit one of the works of our spiritual godfather, writer, director, playwright, novelist,
An actor,
salesman, the great Oscar Micheaux, as we spend some time in Harlem, as we watch Murder in Harlem from 1935.
No, you got to say it. Murder
in
in Harlem.
Harlem. Written, directed, produced by Oscar Micheaux. But before we see who was murdered in Harlem.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
have you watched? There's a new show on Hulu
Yes.
called Only Murders in the Building.
I have not, but I've heard great things about it.
It's a cute show with
Okay.
Steve Martin Short, and Selena Gomez.
Yes.
And it basically, while they are trying to solve a murder, they're also doing it while building and doing a true crime podcast about the murder.
Yes.
It's pretty funny, man.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it.
I will add you to the list of people who have recommended it to me,
Okay.
and I will see about watching it.
When people recommend things to you, right?
Yes.
Is there like whose recommendation has clout? Because some people say stuff, you're like, yeah.
No. I have a I mean, you're very much on the list. You're very much on the list. Like, I have to say, I think, what did you tell me to watch? It may have been Fleabag.
I did.
Like, I always think you're the one who told me to watch Fleabag. But I have a list of people of like 4 or 5 people that I know their taste, and they kind of curate things for me.
Okay.
So,
how does Wendy do? Your wife, Wendy, how does she do in curating things? Does she know pretty much what?
well, I do the curating for her.
Oh,
Right. Like, very
really?
rarely. I mean, because, this is like I'm just vacuuming it in.
Okay. Gotcha.
Just all the time from all types of different places. And very rarely does Wendy run into something. And it's like, oh, I think you should watch it because, that's my jam.
Okay.
That's my jam. Like, I just officially recommended Ted Lasso to her.
Oh, yeah. All you Apple people swearing about Ted Lasso.
It's really good. I hate to be that guy. Like the Ted Lasso people have turned into the Ted Lasso people.
Yes, you have.
It really is that good.
Is it really that good?
It really is that good. And everything that people say, like the quality is that high. Plus, just at this moment,
Okay.
it's a really good feeling show.
I did hear that. I heard it's like, I think that's one of the reasons why it has been resonating so much for people, is because it is a feel good show.
Right. Now, there's a cold, dark place in my heart that thinks that this whole concept of this aw shucks white dude from the Midwest kind of fixing everything is very much science fiction. Like, I'm so glad the white dude from the Midwest showed up. Now things are infinitely better.
Right.
But that aside, it really is that good.
Really that good.
It really is that good.
Okay. All right.
So,
if I can make another recommendation to you,
okay.
because the second season has just premiered on Netflix
Okay.
of an animated series. It probably is more for, I'd say, like young teens, teenagers, but an adult can watch it and enjoy it.
Okay.
Because I did.
All right.
And it's called Kid Cosmic.
Okay.
It is, I think you will love it because it almost is illustrated. It's animated like an illustration, like a comic book illustration.
Okay.
You know, like you can almost see like the pen marks and everything like that. And it's about this meteorite that hits this sleepy like town, and I think like in outside of Las Vegas or whatever, and it may or may not start giving people powers. I don't want to give it away to you, but it's so cool and funny.
Okay.
I really think like if you, I don't know about Wendy, but you and Camille,
okay,
think would enjoy it.
All right, on the list.
All right. And Wendy did chime in and say that you are the curator.
Yes.
So
because I watch a lot of nonsense.
Well,
so
that's what we do.
Have to, right.
Before we move further on, I want to give a shout out to all of you out there watching us streaming live on Facebook and YouTube by way of StreamYard, to all of our devoted missionaries in the Facebook group, and as well as on subscriber on YouTube's Aaron Fry, Miss Makiba, Deborah Battle, Robert Monroe Jr., all of you out there, your good brother Damon, who was there, to each and every one of you, thanks so much for tuning in.
Good evening, folks. Good evening. Good to have you.
Yes. Like Vince said, we are going to be reviewing Oscar Micheaux's Murder in Harlem.
Yes.
This evening. But before we turn on the microphones, Vince played me this comedy bit that I will, just for sake of time, I'll edit in a short clip here on the show. But it's from the comedian Ryan Davis, who did this really funny bit, pretty much just stating what I feel we all know. And that is that Nia Long is the finest actress in Hollywood history.
Yes.
And Ryan proceeds to go through some of her more famous films in her filmography as evidence.
Yes.
Of how fine she is. And one of them that he pointed out to me is one of my favorite films.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Love Jones.
Yes.
And he points out how in Love Jones, Lorenz Tate character, upon seeing Nia Long and being, godsmacked at the beauty that is Nia Long, changes the name of his poem on the spot.
Yes.
Just to impress her. And she curbs him.
Yes.
Sees her at the record shop.
Yes.
Flirts with her a little bit there. Politely flirting, not over,
Sure.
Out of line. She curbs him.
Yes.
Steals her address.
Yes, he does.
From the record store.
Yes, he does.
So that he can get with her.
Yes.
Gets with her. She's so fine that the morning after in her house, he has done an entire Google search of her home.
Years before Google.
And made her not scrambled eggs and toast.
No, not scrambled eggs.
He's made her a pristine resort style omelet.
Using other people's pans.
That's never done.
Yes, he did.
That is never done. And it doesn't stop there.
No.
Because Nia Long, after falling for him, feels that she has some unfinished business in another town.
Yes.
And goes with her ex-fiance.
Yeah.
In another town.
Oh, yeah.
Lives with the boy.
Yes.
Not goes to see him.
That's right.
Moves in with the boy.
They've gone grocery shopping because remember, she ate up his cereal.
Exactly.
When she had the option to get her own cereal. Yeah.
Which was the death knell of that relationship.
Yes.
Comes back to town.
Yes.
and then breaks every rule in the man code book.
It's true.
Because she dates Lorenz Tate Bull.
Bill Bellamy at his slimy best.
At his slimiest. Now, she's wrong because she knows that they're bulls.
Oh, yes. She's a terrible human being, actually.
But don't get it twisted. Bill Bellamy's more wrong because they're bulls.
Absolutely. But Bill Bellamy had been slimy throughout the movie. It's actually a great character.
It is a great character.
Yeah.
It is a great character. And what it is, he's Terrence Howard without the charm.
Right.
That's what he is. Yeah, you think about it. He is.
Terrence Howard, actually, I'm assuming you mean Terrence Howard in The Best Man.
Right.
He actually had a code of ethics, though.
But that's what
the dude, Terrence Howard in The Best Man would never have done
what
Bill Bellamy did.
Bill Bellamy don't care.
Yeah.
And that's why Bill Bellamy's career is where it is now. It's all because of this role.
Right. You know what?
It is.
I will co-sign that.
It tracks.
I will co-sign it. I do think there are people who play roles so well that it spills over.
That's
their
right.
career. Yeah.
But back to Nia Long.
Never long.
Teflon Nia Long.
Teflon Nia.
Don't none of that stick.
No.
None of that. She slide right out like an omelet.
Yeah. In another person's spot.
Back
skillet.
Into the arms of Lorenz Tate, who says, thank you, and kisses her in the rain in a scene that it plays in a loop in my head at least every third day.
Yeah.
That is how fine Nia Long is.
Nia Long is so fond in Love Jones. You don't even think about the fact that he stole her address off of her checkbook. But she was house sitting somebody else's house, which meant that either she got some checks made up with the house that she's house sitting on the check,
right?
Or that's a continuity error that no one thinks about. That's how fine Nia Long is.
That's how fine she is.
Because really, he should have ended up at her apartment,
right? That
she wasn't in because she was house sitting her friend's house.
Nia Long is so fine. Did you ever see the Key and Peele movie Keanu?
I did not.
It's fine. You're not missing anything.
Okay.
You're not missing anything at all. Except that Michael Key. This is Michael Keegan. Whatever. Michael. The Key and Key.
Yeah, right.
Nia Long plays his wife.
Okay.
In that movie. Now, God bless Nia Long. Nia Long don't belong with Michael Key as the couple in this movie.
Okay.
But you buy it.
You buy it.
Because it's Nia Long.
You're just happy to see Nia Long.
And you know that she is his wife in this movie because Michael Key said, if I ever get in a movie and somebody has to play my wife, it is going to be Nia Long.
It seems like that would be on a bucket list for an
actor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is how fine Nia Long is.
Yeah.
So I just want to co-sign.
Ryan
Davis.
It's a great little. I mean, he really lays out the evidence.
Yes, he did.
He really lays out the evidence.
Lord Jesus. All right. Anyway.
I knew that would bring you joy.
That brought me so much joy.
I knew that would bring you
Thank
joy.
You. All right. So we don't have any listener mail today, Vincent.
No.
We don't.
No missives
from the missionaries.
Yet
we have heard from the missionaries. And I know you told me not to bring this up on the show, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. The thing is,
actually, no, you're not. We're not doing that. We are 100% not doing that.
I was going to say.
We are not. We're going to talk about something else. You saw Candyman, correct?
I did see Candyman. We talked about that last week,
didn't we? No, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't.
No. Me and you talked about Candyman.
Oh, that's right. We haven't talked about Candyman.
We haven't talked about Candyman.
I saw Candyman.
Speaking of recommendations.
Yes.
You said that you were recommending, like you recommended to me.
I think you should see Candyman.
Right, because we know me in the theaters, and I'm trying to.
Is it you? How much of it is you in the theaters and you in horror movies?
It's really me in the theater, but I think I'm working it. Like I don't know if I talked to you about this, or I was talking to one of my friends. Someone was talking about how with the reserved seating, you can see how many people
you
are
can see
in the theater.
Yeah.
So I think that has gone a long way.
You should see it.
So
I think it pays to see it in a theater.
Okay.
I think it is as stylish as hell. It's not, I'll be honest, it's not as a horror film, it's not as intense as the original film was. And I think that's because the original film, there was definitely more of, as much as Candyman was doing stuff to people, it was definitely a two-man show between, Candyman, Tony Todd,
right,
and the reporter played by Virginia Madsen.
Right.
And in this film, it's more about how Candyman is like consuming this one person.
Right.
So it's not as much of a give and take there. But it's pretty cool. I enjoyed it, but I'm gonna say it's got good kills in it. If you're a horror person, there's good kills. But I don't know how scary.
Well, here's what I've gleaned. It seems to me that there is a thoughtfulness.
There is definitely
to this, and in a lot of ways, it seems like it speaks to the cultural resonance that Candyman has built since it came out, which in a lot of ways like it seems to me without seeing, obviously I haven't seen the film, but just I've seen a couple of interviews with Nia DaCosta. I've seen a fair amount of interviews speaking of Key and Peele with Jordan Peele and just black horror people.
Mm-hmm.
There was almost this reclaiming of Candyman. Like I think the original Candyman is pretty thoughtful. Like just a pretty, like I think it's a solid, like you understand why Candyman stuck out when it came out. But I do think the intentionality of the racialized issues wasn't necessarily in the first one.
No, and they tried to build into the second one.
As black viewers, and we talked about it when we reviewed Candyman. Like I think we had to do a fair amount of work to pull the race stuff out of Candyman. But in the 20 years, I guess, since Candyman came out, people have been thinking about it. So that in a lot of ways, Nia DaCosta could build off of that.
She does. And she does recontextualize his origin and also just like the character of Candyman a good deal in this film very effectively. And just in one particular beat that I don't want to give away, she does in this film. It is, and the acting in it is like crazy. Now I'll be honest, I like Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
Yeah,
I've liked him in most things, and I think he's fine in this. He makes a choice. I don't know if I 100% agree with his choice in the film, but he's fine. He's fine.
And isn't there a girl in it?
Tiana Paris is in it.
I was about to say
she does good work. Even though it's funny, I read a review that was not kind to her as an actress.
It's been getting mixed reviews.
Yeah, and
which made me want to see it more, frankly, because like if you kind of track who's not liking it, I said, huh.
Even though it's been interesting people that people whose opinion I actually appreciate. That some have been middling. But the person who steals the film for me anyway, is Coleman Domingo.
Oh, well.
I mean, first of all, I was unaware that if I knew, I forgot that he was in the movie.
Yeah.
So when he shows up, I'm like, what is Coleman Domingo doing in Candyman?
Right.
Well, let me just hunker down a little bit more.
Because it's always good to see him.
It's always good. Now, and he makes choices in this film, but I'm enjoying his choices. You can tell he is having a ball in this movie. So he really almost steals the film for me. But it's a lot of fun.
That meshing of horror movie and sort of blackness, if you will, and thoughtfulness on a scale of 1 to Get Out. Where's Candyman fall?
I would say it's probably about a good 7.
7.
It would be higher, but it admittedly has to jump through gymnastics because in her recontextualizing Candyman, she is not throwing away what has come before.
Got you.
Which means the first one, the second one, and the sequels after that.
Oh Lord!
So you kind of. Well, right. I mean, don't get me wrong. She doesn't spend a whole lot of time, but she has to at least acknowledge them.
Follow-up question: if it's 1 to Get Out and that's a 7, where would you put People Under the Stairs? Which, in my mind, is I'll let you talk.
I would put People Under the Stairs probably around the same place.
Okay.
Same place.
Follow up to the follow-up question. 1 to Get Out. These are 7s. Where's Us?
Ooh, Us. Wow. That's a good question. I'm going to put Us. You know what? I'm going to put Us maybe like a tick below them.
Really?
And only for this. And this is only me. And I enjoyed Us. But
I know. I've watched it with you twice.
But only in the way that we're thinking of how we're talking about this. There's still a part of me that is still a little unclear of the messaging of Us.
Interesting.
And because I can't land on that, and I'm definitely on more solid footing with People Under the Stairs and Candyman, I've got to give it a tick below.
Interesting. Yeah. What an interesting thing to say about Us. Wouldn't it be great if we had a podcast and we could do an entire episode talking about Us?
We've done a podcast.
No, we haven't.
We haven't?
No, we did the talk back, but we haven't actually done an
We
Us.
haven't done Us.
I know. Wouldn't it be interesting if we had a month where we did horror kind of monstery movies every year that Us would fit in very neatly?
You know what we do, Vince?
Wouldn't it be great if that month was coming in like 2 weeks?
It is, Vince.
What a wonderful world.
You know what else is coming next week?
What?
Candyman with Nia DaCosta hits video on demand.
Does it really?
Yes.
Oh, so you're pushing me to go see it.
I didn't realize it until I saw that somebody put it in the chat that it's going to be on video on demand.
Oh, so one way or the other, I will be seeing it then.
Yes.
In the next couple of weeks.
Yes. And it might make our list.
No. Oh, I mean, there's no reason to be coy. If you're not picking it, I'm going to pick it.
Oh, good. Because I don't want to. I have my choices.
Yeah. I have my choices too, but I can certainly bump one.
I can bump
next year.
I'll bump one for Us. You bump one for Candyman.
Well, I was going to pick Us.
Oh, well then now you've got your two.
All right.
And then I'll change anything. Good.
Okay. All right.
Good. Because
I
can't wait to give you this one.
All right.
You know what? Proof positive, jumping back on another topic, that Nia Long is the finest actress in Hollywood history. I didn't even take down the banner about Nia Long is the finest actress in Hollywood history until just now.
Okay.
Because I just like seeing Nia Long.
Just like seeing Nia Long. Yeah.
She do to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, fuck it. Fuck it. Oh, Janine on YouTube has a question for you, Vince.
Okay.
Did Vincent get to that Robert Glasper concert?
Oh, I did. Did I say I don't even remember talking. I did though. I was there. We went.
How was it?
It was good. It was good. It was tight up in there though.
You weren't expecting.
Yeah, it was a little tighter than he actually. I guess so. When was that? So what's today? Today's Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have went. Was that last week or the week before last?
I think it was last week.
Last week. He actually joked and said, y'all are risking your life to come see me, which was funny, but then that shit really wasn't that funny.
Then it hit.
Yeah, but it was good. And it was good to hear live music.
Yeah.
It was good to hear live music. And I've never seen them live. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
No, that's good.
I enjoyed it. Thank you for asking, Janine.
All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. She also says that she actually liked us better than Candyman.
I have a lot of thoughts about us.
Wouldn't it be nice if we had a podcast?
Wouldn't it be nice if we had a podcast and we could spend like an hour and I could share those thoughts? Because I think you're right. All right. Like, I think Get Out, like the further I get from Get Out, I think Get Out is damn near perfect.
It's pretty damn
like,
good.
Like it's just a perfect horror film. Like it really is. Us is messier. But I think parts of Us stays with me more.
Really?
I think Lupita, I think visually.
Well, yes, because Lupita's whole deal is definitely
she is magnificent.
Like,
and just the themes.
Yeah.
I think you everyone knows my Get Out thing at this point. Like part of the reason that I can watch Get Out, like I can watch Get Out from now on. Like we can put it on Get Out right now because Get Out is a film that the situation in Get Out would never ever happen to me. But Us cuts a little close to the bone. Like that sort of theme of what do we do? What is the cost of the American dream?
Right.
What cost are you willing to pay? What throats are you willing to cut, figuratively and literally, to kind of live this American capitalist, get this stuff dream?
Right.
And I like there's so much in Us, and then, well, we'll talk about it. But it's like there's so much in Us that I find myself thinking about a lot.
No, I feel you. I feel you on that.
But there's no way. Let's be clear. Us is no way. Like I said, I think Get Out is perfect.
Yeah.
It's not as good as Get Out. I don't even know if that's actually a nice double feature though, because People Under the Stairs, I think, has a lot of those same themes. That's not a bad double feature. People Under the Stairs and Us.
Yeah, it will creep you the hell out.
Well, and just again, like really thoughtful horror. The themes of consumerism and capital, and again the cost. Like, what is the cost? Or even something like, now I'm in my bag. Us, People Under the Stairs, Day of the Dead.
Okay.
Which is the second George Romero zombie movie in the mall.
Right.
But all of it just sort of, as Americans, and right now we're living in we're literally living in a moment where people's arguments are, we got to sacrifice some people so that the machine can run. Like, we're not closing businesses. These people need to take these jobs. We don't want no masks because it's going to affect the economy. Like, that's literally the conversation we're having as a country right now.
That's very true.
Like, what is it worth to keep the bottom line? And the answer is your life. Who is your, not me. but you.
Right.
Like I need to be able to go to Chi-Chi's, and I need to be able to go to Chi-Chi's and Orange Julius, and I need to be able to go to Athlete's Foot and buy my shoes, and I need to go to Buster Brown and Sears and Roebuck. Like I need to do all of this, and your ass needs to be there. Like if I go to TGI Fridays, I need you to take my order for my onion blossom.
I'm letting all that live. Bree 517 says to you, Vincent.
Okay.
I love that shirt, Vincent. I have the same sentiment too. Your shirt, which says, ever since Prince died, shit's been weird.
Because it's 100% correct. Think about it.
Well, Prince died in what, 2012?
2012? No, not 2012.
I don't know.
Like 2 years, like 3 years ago.
Oh, what? Was it just 3 years ago?
I'm pretty sure. Look at
I bet it was before that. I bet he died. I'm not even going to look in the chat. I know see y'all all screaming. 2016.
Was it that long?
Yep. April 2016.
Yeah, it's been weird. Is April, because you know what happened in November 2016?
Your birthday?
No, well, my birthday, but you know what else happened in November 2016? We got a new president.
Oh, jeez, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
And then it went, and we've been
weird.
We've been through the looking glass.
It tracks
ever since.
It definitely tracks. There you go. Okay. All right.
Damn. Now I want to get to October though.
I've been waiting to get to October.
So what do we? So we got next week.
We've actually
got 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks.
2 more weeks, and we go right into October.
In October. I can't wait.
I
can't. I can't even wait. I can't wait to just do the newsletter where we'll announce the movies. Well, I know you're too, but you don't know mine.
I don't.
You're gonna be so mad at me.
I had a pretty obscure one for my second one, but now I'm going to hit 2 right down the middle.
All right,
you're doing Candyman and Us.
Well, once again, all the missionaries will love you, and they'll be like, "What the hell was Lynn watching?"
Is it obscure? I hope
one
it's
of
obscure.
them is. One of them is really
Nice.
obscure. One is obscure, and one of them is iffy, but I don't care. I just want to do it.
I mean, is it iffy as in is it a?
There's an argument as to whether or not it's horror.
God's sake! Why don't you just pick a horror movie?
Well,
and we do this one another time.
No, it is a horror. Truth be told, I have 2 horror films and I have a short.
Okay.
So one of my days is a double joint.
And it's not Scary Movie, because we're gonna hold that for when we can
not doing scary.
We can show like
no. I'm in no rush to watch Scary, so no.
You don't like Scary Movie?
I liked it well enough.
I mean, it's silly, it's dumb.
Yeah, but
all right, okay, all right, fair enough.
I'm surprised you watched, like, you've seen Scary Movie.
And it's dumb. It's got Regina Hall in it.
That's why you watched it.
That's not why I watched it, but that certainly kept me there.
Fair enough. All right, we've been yamming long enough.
Yeah. You ready?
It's time for us to get into our review of Murder in Harlem. But first, it's time for trailer talk.
All right, trailer talk. What you want to talk about?
I have no idea.
Did you see the Matrix trailer? How you feel about the Matrix, Lynn?
I did see the Matrix trailer.
How you feel about the Matrix, Lynn?
Where's Lawrence Fishburne? Like, I like Yahya Abdul-Mateen. Like, where's Lawrence Fishburne?
There are several theories about it.
What?
Theory number 1, he's going to make an appearance. Theory number 2, his character is actually dead because the tie-in multiplayer game, online player game, his character died.
Oh.
And that's canon.
Yeah.
And you remember the Matrix had a whole deal with comic books and the video game and on all of that
animation
and all of that counts.
It's all canon.
So theory number 2 is the character died. So he, of course, wouldn't be in there. Theory number 3, wasn't nobody trying to pay Lawrence Fishburne to be in it.
Oh, I can't imagine that.
Hey, man, these are just theories. I personally think it's going to be a little bit of one, a little bit of two.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I can see that. But speaking of the trailer itself, I thought it looked cool. I thought it looked different. Maybe because Keanu obviously filmed this straight from the set of John Wick. It looked like a little. It looked like John Wick meets the Matrix.
What I'm hoping is that it opens up and it's John Wick, and then somebody tells him you've been living in a simulation for 15 years. And John Wick is a simulation.
That would be dope.
Yeah.
That would be dope. That would be real dope. So I had to like let go of that.
Right.
For like the first couple of seconds. But then that I mean, it looks interesting. It looks cool. You know, I
am an unapologetic Matrix person. I like the sequels. I like
both of them.
I like both the sequels. I like the cartoon. I like the comics. I don't know if you remember, but the first set of comics went out of print immediately, and there was a bit of a rush to try and find our hunt. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't have no big, like, I don't think it's gonna blow my. I mean, how could it possibly blow your mind, like the first one? Like, how could it? Like, what could possibly happen in the Matrix that can blow your mind 20 years after we've been living with post-Matrix movies?
Think of all the crazy stuff that they did in those 3 movies.
Yes.
And how far film and computer imagery has come.
I hear you.
They could, they could.
It would be nice. I have no expectations.
Me neither.
But I'm going to be there opening night. And you talking about seeing something on a big screen.
So this will definitely
put
you in the theater.
100%.
Wow.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow. Because you realize it because it comes out in December.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And it's Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Which means that it will be on HBO Max.
Yeah.
But you'll be in the theater.
I'm gonna try and see it in both. Well, I'll definitely see it on television.
But you're gonna
but I'm going to try
first.
I'm gonna try and maybe not opening night. I said opening night, but probably not opening night. But
no, you should go opening.
I can't be sitting in no theater with all these people.
You go opening day. You go in the afternoon.
Probably the week after in the afternoon. I'll catch one.
Stop being like that.
Look, man.
I'll go with you. We'll go in the afternoon.
What the hell you going with me going to do? How that going to protect me from these ignorant, dirty ass people? Ignorant, dirty ass people getting their scientific information from Facebook and not washing their hands. Did you see dumbass Nicki Minaj?
No.
Her cousin knew somebody in Trinidad that got the vaccine, and then his testicles got messed up. This is something that this woman said out loud.
Yeah, well, Nicki Minaj is not.
And yet, you and I both have people on our Facebook, for like friends, dare I say relatives, that say this kind of stuff.
That's true. That's very true. Very true. You know what?
And because this is trailer talk.
Yes, it's trailer talk. So go.
Motherfuckers don't wash their hands enough for me.
That is
it's not enough look, just generally out in the world before the plagues. Not enough hand washing for me. Lot of right out the stall, hit the door. Lot of shaking your hands underneath the water. Like a lot of this. Then pulling the door and go. Not enough hand washing. Too many people getting their scientific information from Facebook. So while I would love to go to the movies with you, I have a son who's under 12 that can't be vaccinated.
So there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
But like a week or two after, probably a week, I'm gonna catch a little joint and go in there and sit and watch it and then come out.
Okay. All right, cool.
Wash your hands. Stop getting your information from Facebook and YouTube. Listening to people with degrees from YouTube University. Make me sick. Stupid ass people. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It is, Vince. It is.
All right, go ahead.
Fuck them folks. Real quick, and another trailer I did watch, and don't ask me how I wound up watching it. It was a trailer for a lingerie show. Rihanna's Savage Venti.
Sure.
They're doing like her whole show, like the runway show on Amazon.
Am I gonna have to curate some stuff for you to watch?
I only watched the trailer.
I can't leave you on your own.
I only watched the trailer.
You watched the trailer.
That's
okay.
all.
All right.
That's all. Just watch the trailer.
Right.
And it looked like, look, it's Rihanna. It looked audacious, fantastic, incredible,
all right,
exciting, and everything like that. And I am here for all of Rihanna's success.
Yes.
As much as of crooked eyes I might throw at some of things that Beyonce does, I am here for Rihanna.
I love everything about Rihanna that keeps her from singing. Is that bad? That was bad. That was bad. I do. I wish her all the success in the world. Like, I love the fact that she's a billionaire.
She is.
And I love the fact that she's very, very busy with her multimedia empire, not making music. Is it trailer talk? Is it trailer talk?
It is. It is. It is.
This ain't gonna be on the podcast, right?
You're lucky. No, it won't. No, it won't. And if it were, it won't now. But I was just saying that to say it's as intense as it looked. There are a lot of people that like her lingerie.
Yes.
I know a ton of people that love her lingerie, and they say it's very affordable.
Okay.
It's comfortable, and it definitely does, they feel different in it. They feel more confident.
Which is, look,
what it's
that's all
about.
you want, right?
And I was like, that's pretty dope. So, there you go.
Didn't really expect to spend a couple of minutes talking about Rihanna and her lingerie line.
Damon, your brother,
yes,
says that it's quite funny hearing Vincent's rendition of Umbrella. Can you give us a few bars?
No.
Umbrella?
I actually forget the words. I know what he's talking about, but I've forgotten the words. We're going to go ahead and review, but I do have to, like, when Rihanna came, I actually thought it was a joke.
Oh, really?
I was like, come on, stop.
Is this really what we're singing?
Really
Umbrella, Ella.
Right. Here's the funniest thing, though. Talking about you hearing something and you think it's a joke. So, oh my God, what was the name of the Common song? The Common song where he's basically writing a letter.
Oh, to hip hop?
No, to women. No, not Love of My Life.
Oh.
It was, what is the name of that song? But it came out, and my brother, Damon, said, because, Damon have a deep voice. Like, yes. He's had it since he was like 4 years old, which is hilarious.
Mom, where's my bottle?
He said, I saw the new Common video. And I said, is it? Because remember, it was that period where Common was making like love songs. He was going back and forth between love songs and then reminding you that he was like an actual MC.
Right.
And I said, how is it? And Damon said, I saw it on Midnight Love. And I said,
what's wrong with that?
Because it was like
The Light. That's the name.
The Light. Yeah.
I kind of remember that song.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Okay.
Speaking of Common,
okay.
I didn't know Common was dating Tiffany Haddish.
Apparently.
I did not know this.
I mean, it's no reason for you to know this.
I'm
happy for both of them.
I'm happy for both of them as well. But, like, is Common becoming Jennifer Lopez?
I couldn't tell you.
I mean, because he was with Erykah Badu.
Look, the man is
Serena Williams.
He's a single man in Hollywood.
No, God bless him. God bless him.
He's tall.
That's as far as you could go.
This
is as far as you could go with.
Look,
he's tall,
good-looking dude,
single man.
Right? You know, I mean,
no, let him do his thing.
Do his thing.
You know. Okay. No, maybe he's not Jennifer Lopez. Because with Jennifer Lopez, it always seems like with every guy, she's building a life. Like they're buying houses.
We're talking about lingerie. We're doing celebrity gossip. Like we should be getting mani-pedis while we're doing all of this.
I would do that.
Yeah, I know you would.
Would you do that?
No, I wouldn't.
Would you do if we
what? No. What are you doing?
You
no.
would do that on like if we did a special show.
No.
Like from a nail salon.
No, I don't like stunt shows, and no, I don't like people touching me. We just finished talking about the people don't wash their hands. And they get their scientific advice from YouTube.
This is in a professional setting.
Yeah.
We're sitting there getting like petties while we're reviewing movies.
Yeah.
We can review Beauty Shop. All right.
This is what we call a non-starter.
I tried. Blue Girl 17 says I worry about Len sometimes.
Yeah, Blue Girl 17. You don't have to sit here and do live stuff with them. It's a real high wire act over here. Real high wire act.
All right, that's enough trailer talk.
There are times when you need someone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, there's a light that shines. Yeah. It's Bobby Caldwell. It's a great song.
Well, yes.
It's a great song.
I mean, Common has good music.
Yeah, Bilal does a good job with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a great, so like I thought we were going to start talking about Bobby Caldwell because that's a great song.
No, we'll be here all day if we go on Bobby Caldwell.
Right. All right.
Can't do that with you.
All right.
So can we get to the movie?
Murder in Harlem.
I'm trying to get to the movie.
I've
been trying to get there for a minute.
Oh, that's what you've been trying to do. You
keep segueing me away. For all your foolishness.
Oh my! That's mine.
Toya's gonna be mad. I keep going off screen. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back, Toya.
All right.
I'm here, Toya.
Just give me the signal.
Get in my light. All right. Deborah Battle said, "I think it's time for the movie."
Give me the signal.
I am. I'm waiting. I got to give a nice little gap of silence so it helps with the editing. So shh.
Murder in Harlem, a 1935 American film written, produced, and directed by Oscar Micheaux, is a remake of Micheaux's 1921 silent film, The Gonzales Mystery. Based loosely on the 1913 trial of Leo Frank for the murder of Mary Fagan, Murder in Harlem details the events around an African-American man who is framed for the murder of a white woman. But a white man is found to be responsible. Author turned attorney Henry Glory is hired by the accused man's sister to defend him. Glory pieces the crime together, and the white killer is revealed. Directed, written, produced by Oscar Micheaux, Murder in Harlem stars Clarence Brooks, Dorothy Van Eagle, Andrew Bishop, and Alec Lovejoy. This was the choice of Lynn Webb. What say you, Lynn, of Mr. Micheaux's 1935 film, Murder in Harlem?
Well, this is what I have to say. Well, first of all, it is, as I noted last week, long overdue for us to return to the films of our namesake Oscar Micheaux.
Mhm.
It is always a thrill to jump back into the time machine and not only see his movies and see him like plying his craft, learning his craft at the same time that Hollywood and films are like, like growing and becoming a thing, but also going back in time to see, what life was for Black Americans, African Americans in that day,
Mhm.
right? Because neither of us were there, and some, and with each passing year, that becomes even further and further in our rear view window because we are losing more and more people from that time.
Right. Right.
So it's really cool to return to that time, returning to 1935, which is definitely the early days of the talkies
Mhm.
with Oscar Micheaux. So much so, as you pointed out, that this film is a remake of a silent film that he had done, right?
Mhm.
Kind of like reworking this story, a very infamous story, the story of Leo Frank, which is the true story that this film is based on. Now, the story of Leo Frank maybe has gotten lost to history a little bit, but it does not deserve to be. He was an American factory superintendent who was convicted in 1913 of the murder of a 13-year-old employee, Mary Fagan, in Atlanta, Georgia. The 13-year-old, this is at a time, especially in Jewish factories of the day, when children were working in the factories.
Right.
Right.
And it's probably point out that Leo Frank was also Jewish.
And Leo Frank was also Jewish, but he was Jewish, but he was a Black man.
No,
I thought he was.
No.
You're right. He's 100%. He's a Jewish person, Jewish man, convicted for the murder of Mary Fagan, and his trial was very sensationalized. That this young girl was murdered, and there were notes left to make it seem as if the murder was actually committed by the
night watchman,
the black who was a black watchman. That's right. Where it was. They made it seem like she was murdered by the night watchman, who was a black man. But the trial goes on, and they convict Leo Frank. He is sentenced to capital punishment. He's sentenced to be put to death.
Mhm.
But then I think in about a year or so later, his sentence is commuted to life imprisonment.
Right.
But that's not good enough for these people. So they kidnap this man from prison.
Yeah.
And lynch him.
Yes, they do.
In 1915. Only for, of course, years later,
right,
for his sentence to be basically revoked posthumously, because even though it hasn't been proven, there was someone else, a white man.
No,
I thought it was a Jim Conley.
Yeah, but Jim Conley is black.
Whoa! I thought Jim Conley.
No, Jim Conley is black.
So it was two other black men.
Yes.
So it was the night watchman who was a black guy,
and then Jim it's the movie. Oh. It's actually Murder in Harlem.
It is. I guess it is. It is the movie. I messed up that part. Okay, I apologize. I got that part wrong.
You know what? I can't even be mad at you because it's a banana story.
It is. It's bugged. It's bugged. And it's insane, all of that happened to Leo Frank, and the story of Leo Frank, which was definitely a story that has been written about over the years.
And Oscar Micheaux was a bit obsessed with it.
He was very obsessed with it, so much so that he did the silent film that was kind of based on that, and now he remakes that in the talkies.
He wrote a novel.
On it, and then he remakes it in Murder in Harlem. Where he can actually put, voice to what is happening. here and bring some life to this story. You would think, because now it could be told, it could be acted and things of that nature. And it's a great story, and there is meat here to really work, and you can see why this story would intrigue someone like Oscar Micheaux, and so much so that he wants to try and fine tune this story in all these different mediums as a storyteller, which is above all his accomplishments. That's what he is. He's a storyteller. That is all well and good. Unfortunately, what he made in Murder in Harlem is a very awkwardly paced, laborious, long-winded, very, very amateurishly acted film that does not give any respect to the actual story that it is modifying for this film. Like you said, this film, Murder in Harlem, is about an African-American man framed for the murder of a white woman, but a white man is found to be responsible, and the African-American man who is framed is the night watchman at this
chemical factory.
Yeah, it was right. It was a chemical plant. He's framed, and then this traveling book salesman slash author slash attorney,
yes,
Henry Glory, played by Clarence Brooks, is brought onto the case by the night watchman's sister, who believes that this traveling salesman who she has met is the answer to her prayers of proving her brother's innocence.
Right.
Okay. That sounds maybe plausible.
Sure, why not?
It's a bare bones enough to get you into the story.
Yeah.
But the route there, because I got there in 2 minutes.
Yes.
This movie takes 42 minutes to get to that point.
Yeah.
Because we have to deal with, first of all, we have to, I meant to look this up. Well, you're an English professor, Vince.
Sure. Yes.
I believe the term is nonplussed, NON-PLUSSET.
What are we talking about?
That term,
nonplussed?
Yeah, nonplussed. Nonplussed. I've always been. It's nonplussed means of a person surprised and confused so much that they are unsure of how to react.
Yes.
Okay. This film opens up with the definition of nonplussed as this night watchman goes down these stairs. Now, first of all, I mean, Oscar Micheaux by 1935 has been making films since the 20s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So while I'm just to be fair of the man, I don't think he ever rose to the level of, a Spike Lee or anything like that. Right. But he's been making films.
I mean,
he knows his way around how to work a camera.
He made Within Our Gates.
Right. Yet, in this film, the night watchman hears something down the steps, and the camera follows the night watchman out of the scene. Then we see the night watchman open the door. Then we see the night watchman walk down the stairs. Then we see the reverse angle of the night watchman walking down the stairs. Then we see the night watchman notice something across the hall. Then we see the night watchman walk across this is 5 minutes of film, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And no dialogue.
Yeah.
I thought, wait a minute, I could have sworn this was a talkie. I know they had talkies by 1935. What's happening? The night watchman comes upon the dead woman on the floor. How do we know? Because he looks down. Not because we see the dead woman. That's another 2 minutes coming.
Yes.
But he does look down and seems nonplussed. I'm assuming so because he doesn't do anything. He just looks. The camera widens out. Now we can see that he's looking at somebody on the floor before he then turns and we watch him walk back across the hall, back up the stairs, reverse angle of opening the door, back into the room so that we can see him now dial on the phone to call somebody and say, hey, you may want to get here. I'll tell you when you get here.
Yeah, I don't want to say this over the phone.
I don't want to say it over the phone. This is now 10 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
And the hits just keep on coming.
Right, because then we have to have a flashback.
Yes, yes, because now we've got a flashback
for a half hour.
For 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
Why? So that we can establish that Henry Glory, before he becomes the attorney that he tells us he is later in the film,
right?
We have to see him peddling his book.
Yes.
In some apartment building where there's this maid who is coming on to him like, ooh, you're selling a book? Oh, well, I can read. Sure. And I'm quoting the text.
Yes, right.
I'm quoting
I
the
like
script.
to read.
I read good.
That's right.
Let me see here. It's got pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I read that. I'm like, what? And all of this is because Oscar Micheaux wants to put in a little bit of autobiographical information because this is how he used to peddle his books.
Right.
So he's writing what he knows.
Right. That's what they tell you.
And that's what they tell you to do. First rule of writing.
Write what you know.
But you don't have to write all that you know. We don't have to see you talk to the maid just so that she can say, hey, I have someone that lives across next door to me. They also read too. Let me show you. And walk you over to the window and look out the window. See that house out the window? That's where she's at. Go sell her a book. I heard she reads too. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And I'll leave and walk out and go sell her a book because she reads too. Now we're 45 minutes into the film.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, man, I done forgot. I mean, first of all, we never see the white woman again. I know we do see her at the end because they kind of like reenact.
Right. There's a reenactment.
Right.
For like a half hour.
Right. But that's an hour later.
Yeah, that's an hour later after the crime has been solved.
Right.
I
mean, look, I am sorry. I have enjoyed the Oscar Micheaux films that we have watched.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've reviewed 3 Oscar Micheaux.
So what would we did 10 Minutes to Live, Within Our Gates,
and Body and Soul.
And Body and Soul. I forgot about Body and Soul. Yeah. And
we've enjoyed each and every one.
Oh yeah. I have a theory.
What's your theory?
I couldn't quite nail it down in the couple of biographies that I have. But this film feels flush with resources.
Yeah.
This is 1935, and I do have just right in front of me that his wife is also a producer.
Yes.
I think Alice Russell is his second or third wife.
Yes.
But she comes from People. The set design compared to the other Micheaux films and to a lot of films, like I actually texted you early and said, I said Tyler Perry could learn something about set design from 1935, Oscar Micheaux, because the sets are pretty well built.
For the most part.
There are a couple of different locations, like we've seen some of these movies where you can tell it's just 2 rooms and they move a lamp around. There's a lot of furniture. There's a lot of art on the walls.
Yeah.
There is foliage, plants, and rugs. Like all of this stuff costs money.
It's not just a set design; it's a costuming's a little.
I was getting to the costumes. Claudia, the female lead,
yes,
has 3 bad dresses.
She does. This
like
one was like a nice ribbon. I was like,
like the dudes are like, this feels like there's more money than in some of his other films. And I got the sense that maybe he just had more film. Like when I saw it, and it said it was an hour and 38 minutes. I was like, why in the hell is this movie so long?
I know. Right?
And much like you say, there's so much in this film that didn't need to be in there just for the plot.
Like the 2 dance numbers.
You got 2 dance numbers. Again, you've got an extended flash. You've actually got 2 flashbacks if you include the murder that they show at the end. The cast is fairly big. There's a fair amount of extras in both of those scenes you're talking about.
Yeah,
like right. I don't know. Oftentimes you don't have to pay extras, but you got to feed them. Like they're there. So I almost get the sense that was someone like Oscar Micheaux, based on the 4 films we've watched. I like it better when he doesn't have as many resources and he's got to scramble and think and do some really interesting things. Because it does feel like this could have used a great deal of editing. Yeah,
because there's the other thing about this film, and the title Murder in Harlem sets you up for a particular type of film.
Yeah.
And this film never delivers that film.
Well,
there's no suspense at all. And at one point later in the film, when we start messing around with the Lem Hawkins character, the film basically becomes a comedy.
Yeah. Well, to that point, I think one of the frustrating things to me about this is that when you read about the film that it remakes, the Gonzalez Mystery,
right,
that sounds infinitely better.
Yeah.
1921. It is historically the first film to depict a black detective. Depending on what month it came out, it might be the first depiction of a black detective. Charles Chestnut has a novel called The Conjure Woman that comes out in 1921 that, speaking of being an English major, like I always heard this was the first black detective novel. So I don't know.
So like even in media,
right. I don't know what month which came out, but he's right there with this first depiction. Again, the case that this is based on is insane.
Yeah.
Like just the details of it. And of all of these sort of cultural events or cultural details that Murder in Harlem sits in, it's the least interesting part of all of the things. And just as a detective, it's funny because Henry Glory is a version of a character that Oscar Micheaux has in a couple of different things, like in his novels and in his films. As you mentioned, Oscar Micheaux sold his novel door to door, and there are characters in a few of his films and some of his books where it's basically a detective character who's a door-to-door salesman selling his novel. But quietly, Henry Glory doesn't actually do anything in here.
No.
Like Claudia, the night watchman's sister, is the one who figures it out.
She's his girl. Basically becomes his girl Friday,
right?
And she's the one going on stakeouts,
but she gets all the information. She's the one that figures out the connection between the night watchman.
But it's always the women.
I know. Like I guess you could read it this way: like he gets all the credit, but she's the one. Much like you, I was not that impressed with any of the performances. Although I do have to say I did like Dorothy Van Eagle, who plays Claudia, the character we're talking about.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I
liked her.
Dude,
I liked her.
Maybe you liked her because she kept looking at you directly with her eyes.
I mean, is that her fault or is that the director's fault?
What do you mean the director's fault?
Oh, I liked her.
Dude, she looked at the camera like the entire movie.
I liked B. Freeman, who plays the madam.
Oh,
slash
Catbird.
She's called Catbird. I thought she had a little energy.
I don't know.
Look.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Look, I'm not gonna fight you that hard. And then who's my girl's name who comes in at the end and she's George's mother.
Oh,
Laura Bowman.
Yeah.
Laura Bowman was full through. Like she said, if I'm gonna play an old woman, I'm gonna play. Like she was almost like a character out of Kabuki theater. Like she had on her shawl and her wig.
Yeah.
And she was in it.
Yeah.
So I gave her an A for effort.
Okay.
Or an E for effort.
All right. I'm giving no.
Look.
I didn't enjoy any part of it. I like Clarence, well, I ragged on Dorothy Van Angle. She wasn't done any favors by Clarence Brooks as Henry Glory, because that man was stilted, boring, dull, and literally a deer in headlights the entire film. And I think he only spoke in 3-word bursts the entire movie.
He apparently was in Harlem Rods the Range.
Yeah, but I don't think he's like he's not the lead.
Right. He wasn't. It says he played Bradley. So he played the villain in Harlem Rides the Range. I think we may have liked him in Harlem Rides the Range.
Okay. Well, we didn't like him in Murder.
We didn't like him in Murder in Harlem. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, that happens.
No. But I'm trying to figure out, are we pointing at the director or are we pointing at the actor?
Well, I'm not going to lay it on the director. I'll lay it on Oscar Micheaux, the casting agent, because I wouldn't have cast them. But then once you cast them, you're dealing with what you got. Mm-hmm. And to your point, if he is in fact maybe got a couple more dollars to play around with, maybe he takes his eye off the ball a little bit as mm-hmm. far as the performances. Mm-hmm. But like Clarence Brooks and Claudia is not bad. I'll say this. She's not bad in some scenes. She's the best thing there. Right. But she's not good either. Sure. She just, and it primarily because she does two things that just annoyed me in the entire film. She kept looking at the camera, mm-hmm. dead at the camera, mm-hmm. staring at the camera. Mm-hmm. Like you could see her looking at the camera and you can literally see from her eyes that the camera is moving and her eyes are moving with the camera. And then she did this annoying thing where she would go and she would say a line, "Oh, but Mr. Glory."
She get real sexy for you.
Why?
She giving it to you.
Have you come here?
She was giving it to you. She was giving it to you.
I mean, dude, you don't have to give it to me on every damn line, lady. Jesus,
She was looking for a husband.
She was. When she started crying about how much she loved this man.
That's right.
Met once.
That's right. He had intelligent eyes. And he was going to be a lawyer.
And he wrote a book.
So
he couldn't be married.
That's
no. What?
Her line of logic was flawed.
Like, what the hell? Oh my God.
And Catbird hit him, got her goon to hit him in the head.
Catbird was ruthless.
Catbird, look, I told you, that's the movie I wanted. I wanted a movie about Catbird.
Yeah.
Catbird was a madam and a crime boss.
in an apartment.
She
didn't even like have the floor.
She had a dude just standing out in the hallway hitting people in the head, and then they said, "Oh, he only has $7. It's because he's a colored man."
I don't care if he's an Ofe or
I don't care if he's an Ofe or a colored man. You get him out this hallway and get my money. I said, "Whoa, Catbird! Catbird is real tough."
The racial politics in here, 1935, are on full display.
Absolutely.
The dark-skinned black people are definitely, not shown at their highest intelligence. Let's put it that way.
Lim, the guy who plays the other workman who writes the note at the plant, who apparently, based on my 10 minutes of reading about it this afternoon, and by quietly 10 minutes, half hour of reading about this afternoon while the movie was on. A lot of historians, right, apparently think that he's the one who actually murdered the woman.
Oh, okay. Right.
So, it was him. And in fact, there are references to it, like all that nonsense about he can't spell night watchman, and he spells it night witch, is a direct reference
to the actual
dude who wrote the letters and left them with the girl.
Okay.
But there's one point where the evil white factory owner gives him like a quarter, and he actually shuffles and does a dance and says he's good white folks.
I know.
And then he actually did a little jig. And I said, because I couldn't believe he was doing a little jig.
I know.
And then he sure was scared of that body.
We've talked about this before, but I don't remember. Where did we land on it? Definitely, like, where did we land on the idea that these are black filmmakers that are helping to perpetuate this bias that is definitely out there in mainstream Hollywood at the time as well. But where do we land on that they are doing it too? Are they just giving their audience what they're used to getting?
Well, I think we've
because I don't want to come down on too hard.
I think we've been case by case with Oscar Micheaux.
Okay.
Because certainly,
but we watched other films from this time,
right?
Too.
Well, I mean, right. I think a lot of them are case by case. I mean, something like Harlem on the Range, I thought was pretty egregious with it.
Yeah.
But in Body and Soul, which frankly I had forgotten that was an Oscar Micheaux film, because I always think of it as a Paul Robeson film,
right?
And Paul Robeson is a very brown black man, and but Paul Robeson is like a titan.
Yeah.
So obviously, if Paul Robeson is on screen, you can't say that there is colorism in effect, because Paul Robeson couldn't play buffoon if he wanted to.
Yeah, and I don't think he would even let you do that.
And exactly. So I think Lim is unfortunate, but I also think he did, that was the job.
Well, no,
I think he very much was the comic relief. And
he's just doing what he's, and
it doesn't age well, but frankly, he's the liveliest thing in the film. Like my favorite part of the movie was the scene where Claudia is trying to get the information from him
at the club.
And that actually popped as much as anything pops in this movie.
Which is why I think Oscar Micheaux probably rightfully, even though it's to the detriment of the film, almost turns over the second half, third of the film to Lem's character.
Right.
And the film now does have this weird other tone because it's a lot more interesting and stuff. But he's got life,
That's interesting. I couldn't find a lot, and by a lot, like nothing about the production of this film. Everyone talks about the Gonzalez mystery, frankly, but that's an interesting thought. If maybe he pivoted
I mean, cause dude,
Because-
the film becomes a comedy.
Right.
Like the rest of the film, I literally am looking for
should probably-
Larry and Moe
I don't
because this
think-
dude is so much like Curly.
Yeah, Alec Lovejoy. I don't know if we actually said his name out loud yet, but yeah, Alec Lovejoy
As Lem Hawkins.
as Lem Hawkins, who is very much in the Amos and Andy school,
Right.
but he is lively.
Yeah. And
Oh, that's interesting. So maybe I don't think that's a bad theory.
no, I definitely can see that because he takes over the film.
He takes over the film.
You forgot all about Henry Glory,
Yeah.
and then when he comes back, he's like, oh, this guy.
Right, because Henry Glory got him on the stand, and I wrote it down. What did Henry Glory say? After Claudia did all the work and got him, and then Henry Glory said he was going, because remember, Henry Glory is a lawyer, and Henry Glory said, if I understand the heritage of my race, I'll make him talk. And I had no idea what that meant.
I know.
Like, if I understand the heritage of, like, I thought he was going to like bring out a bowl of potato salad and start playing Frankie Beverly featuring Maze. And like Lim was going to say, oh, my weakness, potato salad and Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. I'll tell you everything. But apparently the secret was he just yelled at him.
Yes. Well, maybe it had watermelon breath.
No, it's just it's like, oh no, not watermelon and them church fans with Robert Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King up in the clouds. It's my weakness.
Not them church fans from Johnson's funeral home.
Right. Right.
No.
Are you playing the electric slide? Like he just walked up to him and start doing the electric slide, which is our weakness if he understands the heritage of our race. You can see it. It's electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie. And like he started doing the electric slide, and then Lim said, I have no choice but to join you and tell you my
confess.
And confess. Curse you, line dances.
Confess to the right.
Right.
Crisscross.
Like Clarence go there and takes his shirt off. He's got a Black Family Reunion shirt on.
Okay, all right.
Just saying.
All right.
He said if he understands the heritage of our race, I'll make him talk. It's like, Lord, I should probably pay attention to this part.
Well, that's all to set up the happy ending.
To set up the happy ending, we're come to find out. Did we mention that the entire film that Henry thought that Claudia was a prostitute? I guess maybe we should have mentioned that plot point where he was under the impression that Claudia was a prostitute because she lived in the apartment across from the prostitutes. Right. But then he finds out she's not a prostitute, which means that now they can get married
and look at the camera and fade to black
and live happily ever after, because 1935.
Jesus.
So, Lynn,
Yes.
I guess the question, however, is would you recommend Murder in Harlem?
No.
Mm.
No. I'm sorry. This film is not. There's other works by Oscar Micheaux. Hey, not everyone, even the great ones have a clunker or two in their filmography. And this, I have to say, is one of Oscar's clunkers. No, do not waste your time with Murder in Harlem.
It is very much a clunker, but however, I'm going to add to what you just said. There are other works by Oscar Micheaux, but there are not many of them. So you have to watch this.
No,
You have to.
No, you don't.
You have to watch Murder in Harlem.
I don't think that this film.
You have to watch every single surviving film by Oscar Micheaux.
No, you don't. I don't think that this film adds anything to your perspective of Oscar
I
Micheaux.
think it adds to the language to talk about Oscar Micheaux. You gotta watch it.
No, it doesn't. What has this film added to the discussion about
much
Oscar
like
Micheaux?
we've talked about? This is, by my recollection, the best, or it looks like the best funded film of the four that we've seen. Now, if he has had something that's better financed than this and it appears on the screen, we're working our way through them. But if this ends up being the best financed film that he made, I think that very much says something or adds to our conversation around him, because I think if you go from episode to episode, and I'm specifically thinking about Within Our Gates, which both of us applauded the way he recontextualized footage, the same footage, and worked with it in a way that arguably he didn't have to in this, because it's again, compared to the other films that we've seen, this is damn near lavish. Like, it really was striking.
Yes,
how flush this film looked. And again, so many of these films have been lost. Hell, the film that this was a remake of has been lost.
Yeah.
I don't like, the only way I'll kind of meet you halfway is watch it like I watched it. So like, watch it, but then like also read about the lynching of Leo Frank.
Yes.
Which again is a banana story.
Yeah.
And I'm, I won't say it's been lost to history, but like, certainly I've never heard about it. And you said you never heard of it.
No.
And this was a huge deal. Like you're saying, he was posthumously found, innocent. But that just happened in 2000.
Right.
Like there was a whole journey to that, where I think it was the 80s where they tried to do it, and people was like, and then the wildness, everybody know, like how much about the case did you read?
Not a super lot.
Dude, we think lynch mob, or at least I think lynch mob, I think about a group of people and they storm a building and they pull a dude out.
Right.
This was some old Ocean's 11 type shit. Like it was.
Really? I did because I heard
it was electricians. It was mechanics. It was like it was an operation. Like they broke into, because he was in prison. They broke into prison. They sabotaged cars. They cut phone lines. They got the keys. They pulled, and it was like the governor of Georgia was involved. The mayor of this town where the girl was from was involved. They had this elaborate set of signals where, like, I forget where he was in prison, but between prison and the town that they had set up to lynch him, they were signaling from town to town that the car was on the way with him. They lynched him. They sold pieces of the branches. They sold pieces of the shirt. My favorite detail: sales were so brisk of the souvenirs of this lynching that salesmen had to get a license, basically had to get a peddler's license from the town. So the film itself is not great, but what the film represents, what everything, and I think you do gotta watch. I do. There you go. It's a split decision.
It's a split
decision, but I think you should watch it.
You should go read the book about Leo Frank. Find out about that story and read that. That's what educate yourself.
It's
especially, and keep in mind that this was a Jewish man that this happened to.
Look,
you know what they do to us,
right? Look,
this was a Jewish man.
This apparently was this was a real not highlight, but a real. This really focused on anti-Semitism in the United States, and with Southern Jewish people. Like they talked about, like this was a moment where, funnily enough, I was like, damn, this is what they should have talked about in Driving Miss Daisy. Like being Jewish in the South, like was and I mean, actually, chronologically,
she would have been alive.
She would have been
alive.
She would have been alive.
She would have been a kid.
Yeah, but certainly this was a deal.
Okay. So it was, but that wasn't the scope.
That was not the scope
of Driving.
Anyway, yes, I would say recommended. So there you go.
How you going to take a? You just had to take. Shot.
I just look for ways. I just look for ways to stab up Driving Miss Daisy. I look for opportunities. When you're talking about cars, you know who else had a car? And stab them, just stab it up.
Anyway, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Well, split decision. So, go watch Murder in Harlem. Don't say I didn't tell you. Blame Vince. Yeah, let's see if y'all blame Vince on this one.
Look,
blame Vince on this one.
I will take that hit. Yeah.
All right. Before we tell you what we're going to be watching next week, ladies and gentlemen, we've been keeping up for October so much.
No.
But we still got fun stuff in September.
Yeah.
We do. We definitely do. Before we tell you what we're watching next week, I invite you all to like and follow the Micheaux Mission on all your favorite pieces of social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube at Micheaux Mission. The Micheaux Mission is 2 men, 1 podcast, every Black film ever made, where you can hit swag and check out all of the cool designs that we have for your buying pleasure by way of our friends at T Public. You can also email all of your thoughts and concerns to the Micheaux Mission at gmail.com. That's MICHEAUXMISSION. The Micheaux Mission is a proud member of The Podglomerate, thepodglomerate.com. We make podcasts work. Check out those curated podcasts that they got going on for you over there. We also want to let you know that the road to 300 begins. Email all of your movie suggestions. We've taken in a few and we're shuffling them into the deck. Ladies and gentlemen, email your suggestions for the road to 300 to Micheaux Mission at gmail.com. Also, next week here on the Micheaux Mission, it's Vincent's turn.
Yes.
It's your turn, Vince. Tell us what we are going to be watching next week here on the Micheaux Mission.
We are going to watch a film that has been in the news lately because there has been word that it might be adapted into a film series. I mean, television series. And that would be 1999's The Wood. 1999's The Wood with Richard T. Jones, Omar Epps, Taye Diggs, and a personal favorite of mine, Melinda Williams.
Yes.
Yeah, Melinda Williams. We were just talking about Melinda Williams a few weeks ago. So looking forward to that.
Looking forward to The Wood next week here on the Micheaux Mission. I also want to remind you all, in case you have forgot, that Nia Long is the finest actress in Hollywood history. And if you don't believe me, go check out the comedian Ryan Davis on YouTube. Tell him that the Micheaux Mission.
You should just put that up periodically.
I will.
Like just periodically. You should.
Oh, there's a button where you can hit the banner like it's like a eternal banner. Oh, I smashed the hell out of that button. Man, this is going nowhere.
All right.
We got to get out of here. Until next week, he's Vincent, I'm Len, and in parting, we say,
we'll see you when it's time to meet again.